Hello mathematicians, here is the video for Home Connections 105 and 106. You may skip question number 5 on tonight's homework. The numbers are just too big to do area and perimeter, area mostly, because we haven't yet done the traditional algorithm for multiplication. That we'll do in Unit 6. So don't worry about question number 5, we'll go ahead and skip it. Number 1, Jeff is going to hang wallpaper on the wall in his living room. The wall is 16 feet tall and 23 feet wide. So when we find the area of this wall, we're going to do 16 times 23. However, there's a window in the middle of the wall that's 5 by 8. And obviously we're not going to put wallpaper on that part. So it says, how many square feet of wall does Jeff have to cover with wallpaper? And it does tell you to draw a picture, which can often be very helpful. So I'm going to find the area of the wall first, okay? And then I'm going to subtract the area of the window. So first I'm going to do 23 times 16. If you know traditional, we get 368. Slide this up here. Or you could do something like the break apart method. I'm going to do 20 times 16 and 3 times 16, and then add them together. 2 times 16 is 32, plus a 0. 3 times 16 is 48. Put it all together. And we have an area of 368 square feet. But that is not the answer, because we are not going to put wallpaper on the window, right? So we need to subtract this. And I know that 5 times 8 is 40. So the area of the window is 40. So for our final answer, I'm going to take the area of the wall minus the area of the window, and that will leave us the area of everything else, the area of the space where he'll need wallpaper. Because it's a word problem, I'm going to go ahead and label it. There's our final answer. Number 2, the wallpaper Jeff wants to use comes in rolls that are 1 yard wide and 10 yards long. So if he were to unroll all that wallpaper, it would be 1 yard by 10 yards. But the question is, how many square feet is that? I am going to say that 1 yard is 3 feet. And use that number instead. And 10 yards, 10 times 3, is 30 feet. So instead of using the number 1 and the number 10, I'm going to use the number 3 and the number 30, because the question says not how many square yards is it, it's how many square feet is it. And 3 times 30 will give us the area in square feet. 3 times 3 is 9, 0 on the left, 0 on the right. And I'm going to label it square feet. There's another way you could have done it as well, but 90 square feet is the correct answer. All right, number 3. What happens to the area of a rectangle if you double one side but cut the other side in half? I think I'm going to cut 8 in half and make it 4 and double the side. So here's what I did. I cut this number in half and doubled this number. So 8 became 4 and 2 became 4. I cut one number in half and doubled the other number. And the area four times 4 would be 16 square units. And notice that the area of the original one is also 16 square units. What if we were to do it again? What if we cut one side in half? So I'm going to cut the top in half, and I'm going to double the side. And we still get 16 square units. And you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do another one, but you could do another one. What if I were to cut the top in half and double the side? You still get 16 square units. So this question is saying that if you double one side and cut the other side in half, the area stays the same. Okay? So you could have drawn similar rectangles as I did. You might have doubled a different side and cut the other side in half, but all of our answers should be pretty similar. So what happens? The area stays the same. On the back, each multiplication puzzle, I wish they would have put arrows in to show you how these multiplication puzzles work. If you multiply these three numbers across, you will get that. If you multiply straight across, you'll get that. If you multiply straight across, you'll get that. To get these ones on the corner, you have to multiply diagonally. This number times this number times this number, and this number times this number times this number. So I wish those arrows would have been there. I think that would have helped kids figure out how to figure these out. Okay, I think I'm going to start maybe down here. 4 times 1 is 4. And I know that 4 times 9 will give me 36. The one right above it, 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 4 is 32. And in order to get this last one, I think I might multiply diagonally. 4 times 2 is 8. Times 7 is 56. And now I can multiply straight across. 1 times 6 is 6. Times 7 is 42. So I'm going to do the ones that I know how to do, and then at the end figure out the ones I still need to figure out. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 9 is 72. I can do this one on the bottom. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 5 is 45. Let's see, I can go diagonally. I know that 3 times 2 is 6. Times 7 is 42. So look diagonally. That 7, that 2, that 3, all the ones I've underlined in red, gives us an answer of 42. Now I can go straight across. 7 times 3 is 21. Times 0 is 0. And then finally, I can go diagonally. 5 times 2 is 10. Times 0 is 0. We're skipping question number 5. Number 6, on a separate sheet of paper, I think we can fit it in. If you can fit it in, you do not have to use a separate sheet of paper. It says draw and label a rectangle that has an area of this and a perimeter of this. I'm going to look at that area number, and I see the number 32. And I want you to think, a little blast from the past, the factors of 32. What can you multiply together to get 32? 1 times 32. 2 times 16. Let's see, 3 times 10 is 30. That doesn't work. Ooh, 4 times 8. So these are the factors of 32, which means I can use these numbers to create rectangles that have an area of 32. So my 3 different rectangles that I could have a 1 by 32 rectangle, because 1 times 32 gives us an area of 32 square units. I could also do a 2 by 16 rectangle, because 2 times 16 is 32. I could also do a 4 by 8 rectangle, because 4 by 8 is also 32. So I know that these are the possibilities So that way the area is 32, but I need the perimeter to be 36. So the perimeter is the distance around the shape. If I were to add 32 plus 1 plus 32 plus 1, that's 66. And I'm supposed to be looking for an answer of 36. So I know that this rectangle will not work because it has a perimeter of 66. If I were to add 16 plus 2, that's 18, plus 16 plus 2, that's another 18. Magic pen went crazy there. If I were to add 16 plus 2, that's 18, and 16 plus 2, that's another 18. That's 36. So that would be a perimeter of 36. And isn't that what we were looking for? Okay. And the last one, if I were to do the perimeter of our last rectangle, 8 plus 4 is 12. Another 8 and another 4 is 12. That has a perimeter of 24. So the only rectangle that would work, that would have an area of 32 and a perimeter of 36, the only one that works is this one. So I figured out what rectangles would match the area, and then only one of those matches the perimeter that it's supposed to. All right, here are the answers for 105 and 106. All right, kids, I will see you in class.